Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live Podcast. Nice to have you with us for this Monday, the 30th day of October, the year 2017. And of course, I'm Andrew L. Perry, coming live in Andrew from the busy streets of Brooklyn, New York, right inside the campus of Long Island University. Well, this is your one-way sports talk. Thanks for tuning in. Plenty to get to. We'll discuss the Jets today, and we'll get to big news in politics. But we begin, and plus this is the eve of Halloween, because tomorrow is Halloween, and hope everybody goes trick-or-treating and all that, and just be safe out there. Watch out for all the egg throwing. I don't know if people still throw eggs and stuff like that, but nonetheless, it's great that you take some time out and listen to my podcast, and you can download it on Spreaker.com, and you can listen to it on Spreaker.com podcast. But like I said, let's talk about this World Series. And I gotta say, this World Series will go down. What we saw last night was one of the most amazing I'm gonna tell you this, for a back and forth standpoint, this World Series game should go down as one of the most exciting, dramatizing, greatest World Series game we have ever seen. The 1986 World Series was bizarre, but it didn't have this drama like this. We can mention the Texas Rangers versus the St. Louis Cardinals in 2011 World Series, but that didn't have that drama like this. The closest World Series you could probably say is the Minnesota Twins versus the Atlanta Braves. And even that World Series didn't have that drama, excitement, back and forth offense like the game we saw tonight. That game, I tell you, was one of the most exciting games I have ever seen in the World Series ever. And this World Series has lived up to its potential. And I believe from the beginning of from this series started, that this was going to go 7, and I still believe it's going to go 7. You think the Astros going to end it in 6? You better think again. This series, and my brother and I spoke about this earlier today. He said we should call this a no safe zone, a no safe league series, because that's exactly what it is. No lead is safe. Or better yet, we have everything in this series. Everything you could have asked for. A pitcher's duel, game 1. Hey, Dodgers exploded in game 2. Astros come back. The Dodgers came back in game 3, game 4. And then this this offensive juggernaut last night. And again, one of the most exciting games you will ever see in your life. This is why we watch sport. And also, too, this is the reason why we also watch sports. And we watch stuff and we watch games like this. This is why we watch these type of games. This is why sometimes we stay, as us sports fans, we stay at home or we go to the games to watch games like this. This is why broadcasters like Joe Buck, Frank Gifford, Vince Scully, Dick Enberg, you name it. You name all the announcers. This is why these type of games they root for. And this game was, I can't say how much great things about this game. But let's go off from the top, from the beginning of the series when it was, and let me add this too. None of the best starting, Clayton Kershaw was leading 3-0. And then it became 7-4. And he did not get this. He did not get the decision in this game. Neither did Dallas Keuchel, because Dallas Keuchel. Yes, he gave up. He gave up hits, and it turned out to be 3-0. And then the Astros came back. Then it became 3. Then it became 7-3. Then it became 7-4. And then Altuve. Let me say this: if Altuve, as I told you before, should be an American League should be, to me, if the Astros win this series, I think he's your most valuable player, because anytime the Astros need a big hit, he come through. He came through, and he came through in a big, big way. Because at 7-4, we thought for a second the Dodgers were going to take this series and go back to Los Angeles and run away with and probably wrap it up. Nope. After that 3-1 homer to tie it up at 7, RBI, Corey Bellinger, should be the NL Rookie of the Year, hits a single to give the Dodgers the lead. And then from that point on, the Astros went on a tear in the 8th inning. In the bottom of the 7th, it was 8-12. And then in the bottom of the 9th, then in the 8th inning, the Dodgers cut the lead to 12. Cut the lead to 11-12. 12-11, excuse me. And then they tied it in the 9th and make it 12-12. And then the Astros win it in the 10th. And what more can you ask for? If you could say, I never see any game like this. No, I never see any game like this. I don't know if any of you folks have seen a game like this. But that game was one of the most bizarre games I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've been watching sports since 1990. And I never see a bizarre game like this. We're both offense. And this is the type of games, personally, I love. I don't mind an offensive juggernaut, but as long as it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If it's one-sided, then it's not fun anymore. But when it's a back and forth, mano a mano, what you gonna do? Oh yeah, I will come back with more offense. And then to come back the way they did, both the Astros and Dodgers. Listen, you got to give both teams credit for fighting hard, because this series could have. I told you from the beginning. I said this in the beginning of this series when this series started. This series could go either way. This is the most evenest matchup we have had, the best matchups we have had in a long time. And I'll say this before, and I'll say this again, and I know I sound like a broken record, and I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but this series is going to go 7. I don't believe this series is going 6. You can't tell me this 2017 World Series will go 6. You can't tell me that. I'll be shocked if it ended 6. My little brother think this series was going to go 7. He's surely disappointed. I wonder if the Yankees and Dodgers or the Cubs will face each other in the World Series. Would this series be exciting as this? That's the question we'll never know. But that's irrelevant right now. We got two teams that are really neck and neck. And I thought the Dodgers bullpen was much stronger than that. I really thought they would be much stronger than that, but they proved me wrong. They proved me wrong. They proved me wrong. Because both bullpens are a little shaky. They're not as strong as the other, but a slight edge. A real slight edge. But what is Game 6 is going to hold? What is Game 6 that's going to hold on Tuesday night at Chavez Ravine? The better question I have, what the Dodgers going to do? Are they going to come out? Are they going to come out swinging? Are they going to come at home in front of their fans? Or, now this is a pivotal Game 6. Are the Dodgers going to come out swinging or going to say, you know what? We had enough. What do we have to do to put this Astros team away? Because this Astros team, you can't put them away. They won't go away. The Dodgers won't go away either. But what are you going to do from here on out in this 2017 World Series? All I can tell you, Halloween is coming. Halloween is tomorrow too. I don't know. A lot of spookiness should happen. A lot of spookiness should happen. A lot should happen. But anyway, enough with the baseball. That's enough with the baseball. Let's move on to a little football. And where could we start? We could start off. Let's talk about the Jets because the Giants have the night off, and they will play. The Giants have the night off, and this coming week they will play. They will host the Rams on the 1:00 game, and you can see that game on Fox. But the Jets is on a 3-game losing streak. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm lost for words for what to say about this Jets team. This Jets had you 1 second that they could be a playoff team. They could be a playoff team. They could be a playoff team. And after last week, let down, and they faced the same problem they did last week. They have to close. They have to finish close. They have to close. They could have the lead. They play well enough. But you have to close the game. And for Curly, who wants to be Mr. Willie Hayes, you have to let that ball go. You have to let that ball go. Anytime, some coaches need to teach these. I want to say these coaches, but some players need to understand. Okay,